Integration in logical learning.
Computer Storage and Memory Device ICSE Grade 4. Prepared by Sangita Bose. Computer is an advanced electronic device that takes raw data as an input from the user and processes it under the control of a set of instructions called the program, produces a result output and saves it for future use. This tutorial explains the foundational concepts of computer hardware, software, operating systems, peripherals, etc., along with how to get the most value and impact from the computer technology. Data and information. Data can be defined as a representation of facts, concepts, or instructions in a formalized manner, which should be suitable for communication, interpretation, or processing by human or electronic machine. Data is expressed using characters such as alphabets A to Z or A to Z, digits 0 to 9, or special characters such as plus, minus, asterisk, greater than, less than, equal to, etc. Information is ordered or confidential matter which has some important values for the user. Data is the data that is collected and is focused on the decisions and behavior. To make the decision meaningful, and the data collected must qualify for the following characteristics. Timely. Details should be available where appropriate. Exactness. Data should be correct. Completeness. Full information is needed. Data processing cycle. A computer is a machine composed of hardware and software components. A computer receives the data through an input unit based on the instructions it is given, and after it processes the data, it sends it back through an output device. The input devices of a computer depends on the type of computer we are dealing with. Mostly we use a mouse, keyboard, scanner, monitor, CPU. First, user gives input through the input device. First comes the input, then the processing, and then the output. Then the central processing unit CPU processes the data, and then the output is given through the output device. Storage devices. A storage device is used in the computers to store the data. Provides one of the core functions of the modern computer. It is like a human brain. It is used for data and instruction storage. Computer memory is the computer's storage space where the data is to be processed and the instructions are stored for processing. The memory is divided into several tiny pieces called cells. Growing location or cell has a unique address ranging from 0 to size of the memory -1. Now the classification of the storage. Computer storage device can be classified into two types, primary memory and secondary memory. Under primary memory there are RAM and ROM, and under secondary memory there are sequential access and direct access. Under RAM there are SRAM and DRAM, and under ROM there is PROM, EPROM and EEPROM. Now under the sequential access in secondary memory there is magnetic tape, and under the direct access in secondary memory there is magnetic disk, optical disk and flash drive as well. Under magnetic disks there are hard drive, HDD, floppy drives, FDD and zip disk. And under the optical disks there are DVD, CD-ROM and Blu-ray. And under flash drive there is pen drive. Now let us talk about the cake memory first. Cake memory is a very high performance semiconductor memory that can speed up the CPU. It serves as a buffer between the principal memory and the CPU. It is used to keep certain data and program parts which the CPU uses most often. The operating system moves the pieces of data and programs from the disk to the cake memory from which the CPU can access them. Cake is a high-speed access area which can either be a reserved main memory portion or a storage device. Today most computers come with L3 cake or L2 cake, while the older computers only have L1 cake. Now the advantages and the disadvantages of cake memory. Advantages are as follows. Cake memory is faster than the main memory. It consumes less access time as compared to the main memory. It stores the program that can be executed within a short period of time. It stores the data for temporary use. And the disadvantages are cake memory has limited capacity and is very expensive. Now the primary storage or the main memory. Primary memory includes only certain data and instructions that the machine actually runs on. It has a small capacity, so when the power is switched off, the data is lost. This is usually composed of a device with a semiconductor. Those memories aren't as strong as the records. The data and the instructions required for processing reside in the main memory. This is broken down into two RAM and ROM subcategories. Now the characteristics of main memory are: these are semiconductor memories. It is also known as the main memory. They are usually volatile memory in nature. The data is lost in case power is switched off. It is the working memory of the computer. It runs also faster than the secondary memories. A computer cannot run without a primary memory. Volatile memory. It requires constant power to maintain the stored information. Fastest memory technologies. All contents are erased when the system's power is turned off or interrupted. It has been more popularly known as the temporary memory. Non-volatile memory will retain the stored information even if it is not constantly supplied with electric power. Non-volatile memory is the device which keeps the data even when the current is off. It is suitable for long-term storage of information. Random access memory or RAM. It is also called the random access memory because any of the data in RAM can be accessed just as fast as any other data. RAM is volatile, that is, the data stored in it is lost when we switch off the computer or if there is a power failure. Hence, a backup uninterruptible power system UPS is often used with computers. RAM is small both in terms of its physical size and in the amount of data it can hold. There are two types of RAM. DRAM or the Dynamic Random Access Memory DRAM or SRAM, Static Random Access Memory or SRAM. Now there are the differences between the static RAM versus the dynamic RAM. In static RAM it is faster, while in dynamic RAM it is slower. More expensive in static RAM, less expensive in dynamic RAM. More power consumption in static RAM, less power consumption in dynamic RAM. It does not need to be refreshed in static RAM. It needs to be refreshed thousands of times per second in dynamic RAM. ROM or read-only memory. The memory we can only read from but can't write on. The memory sort is non-volatile. Fabrication, the memory is permanently preserved in these memories. A ROM stores the instructions such as those required to start a machine. This operation is called a bootstrap. ROM chips are used in computers as well as in the other electronic products such as washing machines and microwave ovens. Characteristics of main memory. It uses this memory as the machine begins to boot. ROM memory cannot be overwritten or changed easily or rapidly. Non-volatile in nature, cheaper than RAMs, easier to test. Static and they do not require refreshing content. Types of ROM. PROM or Programmable Read-Only Memory PROM. PROM is read-only memory which a user can change only once. The user purchases a blank PROM and uses a PROM program to enter the desired material. There are tiny fuses inside the PROM chip which are burnt open during programming. It can only be programmed once and cannot be deleted. EPROM. Erasable and programmable read-only memory. EPROM can be erased by exposing it to the ultraviolet light up to 40 minutes in length. This task is typically done with an EPROM eraser. The electric charge is stored in an insulated gate region during programming. The fee is held for over 10 years because there is no leakage route to the charge. Ultraviolet light is passed over a quartz crystal window lid. Erase this charge. The charge dissipates this exposure to ultraviolet radiation. The quartz lid is screwed with a sticker during the regular use. EEPROM, electrically erasable and programmable read-only memory. EEPROM is electrically programmed and erased. This can be erased about 10,000 times and reprogrammed. It takes between 4 to 10 milliseconds for both erasing and programming. Every place can be selectively deleted and programmed in EEPROM. EEPROMs can be deleted 1 byte at a time, rather than the entire chip being deleted. The reprogramming process is therefore flexible but slow. Secondary storage. This form of memory is also known as the non-volatile or external memory. It's slower than the main brain. They are used permanently to store the data or information. CPU does not explicitly access these memories but is accessed by input-output routines instead. Secondary memory material is first passed to the main memory and can then be accessed by the CPU. Examples: hard disk, floppy disk, CD-ROM, DVD, etc. Characteristics of secondary memory. These are magnetic and optical memories. It is also known as the backup memory. It is the non-volatile memory. The data is permanently stored even if the power is switched off. It is used for the storage of data in a computer. Computer may run without the secondary memory, and it is also slower than the primary memories. The sequential access. The accessing of the pieces of information will be in a series one after the another. Therefore, the time to access a particular piece of information depends upon which piece of information was last accessed. Such characteristic is typical of offline storage. Magnetic tape. A magnetically coated strip of plastic on which data can be encoded. Tapes for computers are similar to tapes used to store music. Tape is much less expensive than other storage mediums but commonly a much slower solution that is commonly used for backup. Direct memory access or DMA. Direct memory access transfers the block of data between the memory and the peripheral devices of the system without the participation of the processor. The unit that controls the activity of accessing memory directly is called the DMA controller. The processor relinquishes the system bus for a few clock cycles, so the DMA controller can accomplish the task of data transfer via the system bus. Now the hard disk. The hard disk drive is the main and usually the largest data storage device in a computer. It can store anywhere from 160 gigabytes to 2 terabytes. Hard disk speed is the speed at which the content can be read and written on a hard disk. A hard disk unit comes with a set rotation speed varying from 4500 to 7200 RPM. Access time is measured in milliseconds. Internal hard disk versus the external hard disk. Basic difference: portability. You can carry an internal hard disk but you cannot carry an external hard disk. Price. It is less expensive for the internal hard disks and it is more expensive for the external hard disk. Speed. It is fast for the internal hard disk and it is slow for the external hard disk. Size. It is big in size in internal hard disk and it is small in size for the external hard disks. Floppy disk. A soft magnetic disk. Floppy disks are portable. Floppy disks are slower to access than the hard disks and have less storage capacity, but they are much less expensive. Can store data up to 1.44 MB, two common sizes, 5 1/4 inch and 3 1/2 inch. Zip disk, hardware data storage device developed by Iomega that functions like a standard 1.44 inch floppy drive, capable to hold up to 100 MB of data or 250 MB of data on new drives. Now it's less popular as users needed larger storage capabilities. Optical disk. Optical disk is any storage media that holds content in digital format and is read using a laser assembly and is considered optical media. Most common types of optical media are Blu-ray, BD, compact disc, CD, digital versatile disc, DVD. Now here in this chart there are different types of optical disc and it varies according to the capacity, wavelength, read or writing speed. USB flash drive, a small portable flash memory card that plugs into a computer's USB port and functions as a portable hard drive. Flash drives are available in sizes such as 256 MB, 512 MB, 1 GB, 5 GB and 16 GB and are an easy way to transfer and store information. Memory card, an electronic flash memory storage disk commonly used in consumer electronic devices such as digital cameras, MP3 players, mobile phones and other small portable devices. Example, secure digital card SD or mini SD or even the multimedia card or the memory card reader. Memory cards are usually read by connecting the device containing the card to a computer or by using a USB card reader. Motherboard. The motherboard serves as a single platform to connect all the parts of a computer together. It connects the CPU, memory, hard drives, optical drives, video card, sound card, and other ports and expansion cards directly or via cables. It can be considered as the backbone of a computer. Now the features of motherboard are as follows. Motherboard varies greatly in supporting various types of components. Motherboard supports a single type of CPU and a few types of memories. Video cards, hard disks, sound cards have to be compatible with the motherboard in order to function properly. Motherboards, cases and power supplies must be compatible to work properly together. Memory unit. Memory unit is the amount of data that can be stored in the storage unit. This storage capacity is expressed in terms of bytes. Bit or binary digit. A binary digit is logical 0 and 1 representing a passive or an active state of a component in an electric circuit. Nibble, a group of 4 bits is called nibble. Byte, a group of 8 bits is called a byte. A byte is the smallest unit which can represent a data item or a character. Word, a computer word like a byte is a group of fixed number of bits processed as a unit which varies from computer to computer but is fixed for each computer. The length of a computer word is called the word size or the word length. It may be as small as 8 bits or it may be as long as 96 bits. A computer stores the information in the form of computer words. Here are some memory sizes which you need to learn. 1 kilobyte is equal to 1024 bytes. 1 megabyte is equal to 1024 KB. 1 gigabyte is equal to 1024 MB. 1 terabyte is equal to 1024 GB. 1 petabyte is equal to 1024 TB. 1 exabyte is equal to 1024 PB. 1 zettabyte is equal to 1024 EB and 1 yottabyte is equal to 1024 ZB. Now some other examples of storage devices. Punched card. Early method of data storage used with early computers. Punched card are also called Hollerith cards containing several punched holes that represents the data. Another example of storage devices are cloud storage. Cloud storage means the storage of data online is done in the cloud, wherein a data is stored in and accessible from multiple distributed and connected resources that comprise a cloud. Cloud storage can provide the benefits of greater accessibility and reliability, rapid deployment, strong protection for data backup, archival and disaster recovery processes like Flickr, SkyDrive, Google Drive, etc. Thank you for watching this video.